Hey y'all, Rick Fearless, Strokers Dallas, Strokers Ice House, Punchwally Garage. Good morning. How you doing? All right? Today is Tuesday, March 19th, 2024, year of our Lord, season number 2, episode number 79. In today's show, we are going to cover DC, NYC, and new formula. Let's go. In my life, the 366 Project, coming to you almost live from almost downtown Dallas. Today, the Mr. Peabody Wayback Machine goes back to the fall of 1977. In the fall of 77, I was 21. My brother was 20. My brother was off in the Army, and I was still in Irving, Texas, and I'm still there today. So, my brother and I decided that I would fly out to come visit him while he was in the Army. And we would take little weeks. He had some leave. I took a vacation from Roach Paint Company, and he took some time off on personal time or whatever they call it. So a friend of ours, Jimmy Hicks, went with me. And we flew in from Irving to Fort Eustis, Virginia. That's where my brother was stationed. And what I remember was I was driving a 76 Trans Am, and my brother outshone me. He bought a new 1978 Pontiac Formula when they first came out towards the fall of 77. And it was a beautiful car. So Hicks and I flew into Fort Eustis, Virginia, and we actually spent the night in the barracks there with my brother. And I remember he had a Dallas Cowboy t-shirt thumbtacked to the wall. His bed wasn't made. And I said, "What about that bouncing the quarter off the bed and spit shine and all that?" And Rand said, "No, man, this is the new man's army. We ain't got to do that no more." And he took us around, introduced us to the guys, and showed me the day room. So the day room was where they had they had a pool table, and it seemed like they had maybe a couple of pinball machines and a ping pong table. But the pool table was the center of my brother's activity most of the time. So we went to Washington, D.C. in my brother's Formula, and we got to see the sights of D.C., and I learned that no building can be built taller than the Capitol, and the Capitol was on the hill. That's why it's called Capitol Hill. We experienced some of the nightlife in D.C., didn't we, Rand? And that's a little inside joke between me and my brother. Then we went to New York City. And for kids from Irving, Texas, New York City is, at 20 and 21, is quite the lifestyle change from Irving, Texas. But, at that point in my life, I remember riding around with my brother and going up there and stopping in these little towns and thinking, I could do this. I could, because at that age, I thought, I can pick up and go anywhere I want. I can do whatever I want. But I didn't. I went home to Irving, Texas, and I never left. But I have one of the best memories I've ever had was that week traveling up north with my brother and Jimmy Hicks. All right, let's check that truck. Check that truck, you big old... Woo, hey, look at that, man. Woo, what do you call that? color turquoise? Well, I call it a jailhouse green. Jailhouse green. You ever seen coffee when it's like 3 days old and it's got that green on? Yeah, that's the... Okay, so you got that. You got the red, white, and blue logo. White toe, white so. Double black racing stripes, 2 vent hose. Look how close together they are. White shoestrings, 1 eye down, double knotted for safety. These are, say it with me, y'all, these are some handsome Chucks. Where you going to go in the office, boy? Right here. So, you know, I told you if you see anything in my office you want me to talk about, call it out. And a guy called out. He said, Rick, what's that? You got the yellow submarine and some figurines hanging there. What is all that? Well, most of those are Marilyn Monroe figurines. But there's a Betty Page. I think I got that in Los Angeles. These are some more Marilyn Monroe figurines and some church keys, some beer openers. So I love the Beatles. My mother-in-law, Betty, usually gives me like a Beatles Christmas ornament, and I hang them up in my office. Right, Ma? That's right. Okay, so we got that out the way. If you see anything in my office while I'm panning it, call it out, Rick at strokersdallas.com, and we'll talk about it. Dad joke, why was Cinderella so bad at soccer? Because she kept running away from the ball. Strokers Dallas merch, merch.com. Check us out if you have a bike you're not riding. Allow me to sell it. Bikes are selling really good. And I've got a whole bunch of them, and I need a whole bunch more. My email, like I said, is rick at strokersdallas.com. Tell me about yourself, and I'll give you a shout out. If you aren't watching us on YouTube, it's easy. youtube.com, Strokers Dallas. Click on that. Subscribe. It's free. And there's hundreds of videos on there. Get off the couch, a motivational minute. This is true. Listen up here. Maybe we should all focus a little more on ourselves and a little less on others. What does that mean, Rick Fairless? That means at the end of the day, you all you got. You're all you got. Yes, be kind and loving and sweet and all that. Don't forget yourself. When you're doing all this stuff for other people, don't leave yourself behind. You've all you got, man. Okay? All right, I'm going to leave you with this. Who am I? I was in a comedy troupe in World War II. I was a ventriloquist, and I performed with a wooden dummy named Hooch. My first television exposure was on a soap opera called Search for Tomorrow. Later, I won 3 Emmys in 5 years. I have a statue in my hometown in West Virginia. Who am I? I am Don Knotts. And that, boys and girls, is the rest of the story. There was nobody in the history of television any funnier than Barney Fife. I've got a big poster on one of the doors up there in my showroom. I love me some Barney Fife. All right, Rick Fairless. I got to go. I got to catch Cinderella before she leaves that ball. Love you, bye. Hey, I'll see you tomorrow.